Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the show tonight. Glad y'all could join us. Tonight, talking ball, we're looking at Indiana's offense and their semifinal win against Oregon the other night. Obviously, a dominant performance by the Hoosiers that included a lot of mistakes by the Ducks that set Indiana up with some short fields and some really big opportunities. However, what we're going to look at tonight is just the execution and the level that this Indiana offense just continues to play at. How there's no holes. Their offensive line is very sound up front. They run a lot of zone scheme stuff. We're going to show you some of that. Obviously, Mendoza, the quarterback, is very polished, very accurate. I would argue he's the most accurate quarterback in college football this year. Their receivers are just lights out. They get open and they catch everything. They don't drop any balls, and they're really polished at route running too. Their backs, they just hit the hole, and they're always looking to get vertical. They're never looking to run out of bounds. They're never going sideways, east and west. They're always going north south. And so we're going to kind of show you that tonight in their execution. So this is Indiana's first drive of the game after Oregon had went down and tied the ball game. If you remember, Indiana picked Dante Moore off on the first play and scored. And then Oregon came back down the field, had about a 15-play drive and scored. And so this is Indiana's answer to that. So right here we're looking at Indiana. They're in a 2-by-2 formation. And we're going to watch Oregon's defense showing this man look, press man, where they've got corners are pressed on each side. They've got a guy pressed in the slot up top, and they've got a single high safety. So we're looking at man-free coverage here. And all we're going to see is this slot fade concept where you got number 13 here, Surratt, who's going to work the slot fade. So he's going to try to step on the nickel's toes, and then he's going to fade outside the numbers, and you're going to get a low route here by number one, the number one receiver, to hold that corner down, and you're going to get this back shoulder, a perfect throw and catch right here by Mendoza to Surratt. So we'll go ahead and roll it. You can see Mendoza knows where he's going right now. He gives this, he looks a little bit to his right to begin with as he's catching the snap, kind of hold that safety in the middle, and then he's working that back shoulder. As you can see, Surratt, he just makes an incredible catch with the defender draped on him. Looking at it from the end zone copy, you can see how accurate the ball is too. Mendoza just puts it on a spot where there's no way that Surratt can't catch it. And the defender's behind Surratt here on the sideline, and he's got his arms draped around him, right under like his armpits, and Surratt just makes an incredible catch. And they're so good at this. They work the back shoulder so much. It's one of their favorite throws. And like I said, guys, there's nothing fancy about that. That's just execution. Knowing where they go with the football, knowing how to run the route and get open and have good leverage on the defender. And then with your Mendoza, you're just so accurate getting that thing out. So here we're looking at the very next play. Just early on, and I want to show you more of the end zone copy of this one. Just the inside zone run scheme by Indiana that they love to work. So they hardly work any gap game. So what I mean by that is they're hardly ever going to work any pulling lineman schemes. For say, like if they were running power here, you would have the tight end try to get inside leverage on that end and dig him out. Or you'd get a double team right there. The center would block back, and you get a guard pulling into A or B gap from the front side linebacker, right? That would be a gap scheme. But what you're going to see Indiana do most of the time is work a zone scheme, right? Where you have the offensive linemen are responsible for a gap. So the center and the front side guard, they are trying, or actually this is going to be they're going to work zone, as you can see here. They're working zone left, so they're working away from the tight end. And this is more of like what some people would call duo. But the tight end's going to get involved. He's going to climb there. You're going to get the 5 techniques blocked by the left tackle. Okay, these 2 offensive linemen in the center and the left guard, they're going to double and try to climb, okay, to the front side linebacker, and then you're going to get a double team on this 3 technique backside. And the way they work this, if you watch Hemby and Black, the 2 backs, so this is Hemby, number 1, he's so good at hitting it A to A. So when you hit inside zone, you want to hit it somewhere in between those A gaps, right? Wherever the crease is, wherever the zone opens up. And backs are coached to do that, but a lot of times running backs, when it's a natural thing if they're not disciplined and if they don't trust themselves, if they're not experienced, you'll get the handoff and then you'll get that immediate bounce outside. Well, if you're blocking zone, you're working inside footwork. All these linemen are trying to win inside their defender, and you're trying to open up creases inside. So just watch him be here, how good he is at getting downhill and getting A to A. He's aiming that thing right now, A to A. And he sees as there's flow to the left, they're trying to run zone left, he's going to hit the cutback, and the cutback's going to naturally open. And that's just when you're a really good zone running team, you're going to hit that cutback a lot. And right here, as you can see, Oregon's going to close off play side A. And really, I mean, backside A gets closed off as well. But Hemby, as he's getting the handoff, his eyes are up. He's got a good track right here downhill, A to A. And he's going to see that cutback open up right there. So we're going to watch that really quick. And you can see it's not a huge play, but later in the game, Indiana really started opening up these creases on zone. Oregon does a good job here. The backside outside linebacker collapses down and makes that play in D gap. But as you can see, there's nobody from Mendoza here, right? If he keeps that, that's a good indicator for the play caller later on to say, hey, we need to keep it one time on inside zone because there's not really anybody there for the quarterback. So that you watch these zone plays later on in the game really start to open up for Indiana. All right, so Indiana here is 11 personnel. They motion the sniffer. So this is a good play. It's 3rd and about 3 right here. So Indiana knows tendency probably is for Oregon. They're going to get man coverage. So you've got man coverage here and there. Okay, Oregon's playing more of this 3 high safety look here, okay, with a 3 down. And they're just, they're trying to play a man look, maybe bring some pressure. It's 3rd and short. So Indiana's going to work a rub route, what some might call a pick route. So they motion the sniffer across. They got man coverage, okay? These 2 guys have these 2 guys. And what you're going to see worked out right here, both the defenders are pretty close to being on the same level. You're going to get a slant right at that defender right there, okay, at his upfield shoulder, meaning he's going to make the defender go over the top of him, okay, he's going to make the defender run underneath of him to try to chase the out route, okay? So we'll watch it one time and then I'll play it back, kind of explain what happens here. You can see right there, he runs right at that defender and freezes him. Well, he's man on him. There's no way that, and when he runs this speed out right here, that defender right there, 28, Betcher, the linebacker, can cover the out, right? And he doesn't like knock him down or really even run into him. But right there, he just freezes Betcher where he has to stop. And you get that quick little speed out, and it's enough for Mendoza. Hey, Mendoza's throwing this ball in rhythm. He sees it right now. The ball is out, and it's a 1st down. Really good executed little rubber pick play. Once again, Indiana, they're not doing anything fancy, right? Almost every spread football team in America, high school, college, NFL, they all run rubs and picks. But it's just the execution, right? When you got to have it on 3rd and 4 to have it make it perfectly happen, right? Where this defender's doing his, or this receiver's doing his job to run right at that guy and take his man with him, and then open up that speed out for a first down right there. So just really good execution on the part of the Hoosiers right there in that rub play and that pick play to get a first down and keep the sticks moving. All right, so next play is first down now for Indiana. We're going to see more of their zone scheme stuff here. So this is going to be an outside zone run for Indiana. Now, the way they're running this, we'll kind of talk through it. It's an outside zone or stretch play where the offensive linemen are all going to be stepping to their left and trying to reach to the left. Now, they know that the way Oregon's going to fight, like up top, the way that, this 7 technique right here, the way he's going to fight the reach, they know they're never going to get it around the end, right? Where it's like you're not going to be running outside zone out here. They know that Oregon's going to fight the reach and everything's going to kind of push that way, and the running back's going to end up banging this inside, right? So you see they're pushing everything out there, and they know they're never going to get this reached around the end. They know the back. They've coached the back up to look for the cutback on this. They're just running stretch to try to get flow going that one direction, okay? So you see here from the wide copy how it really opens it up and it really gets Oregon's defense kind of stretched horizontally. From the end zone copy, you can really see it. So Indiana's going to run this from pistol. People like running stretch a little bit better from pistol because the back has a better chance to get downhill versus being sidecar and being really flat on his angle and not really being able to get any momentum. So you see here, they're pushing. They're going to actually, the end's fighting the reach. They're going to get him reach. The tackle's going to get there. But the way this cut opens up, that you're going to get the double team right here against the 3 technique, and you're going to get Black, the running back right here, number 8. He sees this cut hit basically in a gap. Okay, so he's aiming wide, but he sees the cutback right there. That comes right off the center. I mean, and it's just a great play, and everybody's running and trying to reach. Okay. And they're going to use the defender's momentum against him right here. So 52, the defensive tackle, he's running, trying to fight the reach. Well, these backs are so good. I mean, you can see right here what Black does. He just cuts that thing back. But I talked earlier about these guys getting downhill and getting vertical. They don't ever run east to west. These running backs run north to south like this all the time. And you can see what we saw earlier, that couple of 3-yard game we saw in zone earlier. It's already starting to increase right here as the Hoosiers kind of get into this first drive. So they really are masters at executing the zone run game, inside and outside zone, and it's a thing of beauty. It's nothing extremely innovative or cutting edge. You're not going to see many coaching clinics on it probably in the off season, but it's just great execution. All right, right here, they're going to work ISO. So what's going to happen is offensive linemen are all going to work inside footwork, okay? You're going to get a double team, all right, by the center and the left guard right here on this 2 technique, okay? Oregon's playing in 2, so this guy actually, he kind of looks more like a 3. But you've got a 2 up there. We're going to get a double team there. We're going to get inside footwork, okay? I'll show you this from the end zone copy. You can kind of see the offensive lineman's angles a little bit better. All right, so we're going to get the sniffer coming across, okay? So you're going to get a double team here, all right? Everybody else is looking to dig their guy out, meaning they're trying to get inside footwork and inside leverage, and this is just ISO. So what's going to happen is that sniffer is going to ISO. He's looking for the gap right here, okay? Whatever gap is open on the right side, this is just ISO right. Whatever gap is open, that's the gap he's going to lead this thing through. So right now, they've got a 3 technique. So he's in B gap. They're going to ISO through A gap because A gap is open. So the sniffer's going to go A gap, and he's going to look for the first thing linebacker level, okay? And the back's going to hit it right behind him. So we'll go ahead and play it, and you can see how it works out here. Right there into A. And once again, check out Hemby. Check how he hits the hole. I mean, look at the footwork. You see the slide technique zone footwork right there, getting even with the quarterback, being patient. and then he sets that thing up and he gets downhill, and he ain't looking to cut that. He's not looking to juke. He's not looking to get east and west. He is full speed ahead, running behind his pads, and the safety makes the tackle a couple yards shy of about the 10-yard line here, I think. And you can really see at this point, Indiana is just the execution of their zone run, their ISO run game is starting to really wear on Oregon, even on the first drive. And the offensive line is working so well together, and the backs know exactly what to see and how to hit these cuts on zone and where they're supposed to hit stuff like ISO, that it's a thing of beauty to watch them execute on offense. So we're down here now. We're more of an 11 personnel, tight end attached up top. Okay, they're just going to work a little pin and pull, buck sweep here. I said earlier, they don't do a lot of gap game. This was one of the handful of times the other night they ran some gap game. So it's just buck sweep. So you're going to get everybody's trying to reach. So the tight end's trying to reach the end. Okay, you're going to get the tackle pull, and you're going to get the center pull right here. Okay, the left tackle and the center are pulling. Everybody else is just trying to reach their guy to the left and pin them. And you've got the receiver motioning in tight, and he's trying to crack the inside linebacker. And you just get working angles here. Once again, watching Hemby, the back, he ain't looking to run out of bounds. You can really see it on the end zone copy. He gets over there. This is an outside run. It's pin and pull, buck sweep, whatever the terminology you want to use is. Okay, where we're getting all these guys. Oh, sorry, y'all. We're getting once again, we're reaching here, we're reaching here, we're reaching here, we're reaching here. Right, we're pulling with the center, and we're pulling with the left tackle. We're watching Hemby here. He's hitting this thing outside, following his pullers, and then right there, I guess that a lot of backs would run out of bounds, but you can watch here. Watch how he runs behind his pads, and he just gets skinny right there next to the sideline, and he gets like 7 or 8 more yards. He's trying to score. Like, this is the perfect example of what these backs do. They ain't trying to run out of bounds. Like, he's fighting. He's trying to get a first down. He's trying to get a touchdown. Their running backs are so coached up to just get extra yardage and get yards after contact. And that adds up over the course of the game, where they run the ball 50 or 60 times on average and just lean on these defenses. All right, so the first offensive touchdown of the game for Indiana is this 12 personnel split zone slant arrow or slant speed out RPO. So they're working zone right, and 37 is the sniffer. This starts a little bit late. He's going to split the C-gap defender, okay, on the other side. Now, Mendoza is taught right here on this specific RPO. If you get man coverage, you can pull the ball and you can work your man beaters, because this is a man beater RPO, right? You're going to get a slant right here by number 1, okay? And you're going to get a little speed out, all right, by number 2. And this really works if you remember earlier in the drive where they worked that little rub or pick play for the sniffer to get the first down. This kind of functions as the same thing. Very similar. They're not as tight. And he's really not trying to run a pick from up top at number 1, but he ends up running kind of in the way and running interference here. But the beauty of this play is just the route and the break, and then the ball by Mendoza. It is out on time. Cooper sticks it right there, and he separates from the defender, but Mendoza knows right now where he's going with the ball. That he's going to work that out, the speed out, okay, because he's getting man coverage. He likes Cooper in this matchup in the slot right here, and the ball is placed perfectly. And it's just, once again, nothing fancy, not smoke and mirrors. It's just execution. It is just seeing the perfect scenario open up. They're playing man coverage. You got a man beater called, so execute the man beater instead of handing it off into a loaded box, and it's a touchdown. Just great execution right there. You can see here that from the end zone copy, kind of Mendoza's footwork and getting that thing out. And Cooper Drake, he had 2 feet. So that one's good on Sunday. It wasn't just 1 foot down. All right, looking at the back shoulder game again. So Indiana's coming back here. They got a little. So you've got an 11 personnel look. They're getting man. You got a free safety in the middle of the field. We're man free. Okay, so you got man against Surratt. His nickname's Waffle House. They call him because he's always open. All right, and you can see here they've already thrown the back shoulder to him once on the slot fade, and the corner is just really. He's trying to force him to the sideline. He's trying to work him out of bounds. He's got hands on. You can see the flag fly. But Surratt just positions himself so perfectly. And Mendoza, you can see right there, the ball is thrown the only place it can be thrown. He catches that thing right here, like on his right pec and his right bicep. And it's undefendable. When you work the back shoulder like that, and they are so good at it, it really is. There's no defense for it. Right? The only thing you can do is hope to get pass interference and hope he doesn't catch it. Right here, they got pass interference, and he caught it. Okay? So they got the worst of both things. And it really is demoralizing for defense when you got all this stuff working. You got the zone run inside and outside. You got the ISO game working, the RPO game. And then you can also just do this backyard stuff where, hey, I'm going to throw you the fade ball, back shoulder, use your leverage, make the play. And it really is demoralizing to a defense. When you can do all those things and you can do them all well and execute them the way that Indiana's doing here, it just really is not a great thing for the defense. So Indiana, we're here working a little boot. All right, so it's play action boot. They've been working that outside zone. The offensive line are stepping and working sort of stretch steps on this, and you can kind of see the flow of the Oregon defense going with that. Cooper's dragging across. He's running the hide route or the flat route. You got a corner route to kind of clear and take 2 here that takes the corner and the free safety. Mendoza does a good job here of kind of using his feet to string this out. Cooper makes himself available and makes the catch. And nothing spectacular there, but you get about 8 yards to kind of keep everything on schedule and make third manageable happen on the next play. So once again, nothing spectacular, nothing super innovative. Just good execution of a good football player out there on the behalf of Indiana. All right, so this is going to be your over-the-top touchdown right here to 80. So once again, another man-free look. They have already really hurt Oregon on the back shoulder stuff, and now they're going to work them on a straight fade ball up top, okay? So I want you watch the receiver up top. He works a perfect one-stick release. And so one-stick release just means as you come off the line, you're going to give a little foot fire and stick with your inside foot and then win outside, right? And I want you to watch the corner's hands. As soon as he gives that foot fire, watch the corner's hands do this, all right? That's why you foot fire as a receiver to try to get that defender to almost like react in a panic to try to grab, and that way you're going to get them on their toes leaning, and you're going to win with leverage. So just watch that action right there. You see the link, you see the foot fire, and you see the DB get out on his toes, right? His top half is way over the top. He's top heavy leaning, and that's the way you're going to get that step outside. And then he does a great job of restacking. So what I mean by that, he doesn't run immediately to the sideline, right? He runs and he tries to get back on top of the numbers and save Mendoza some room to throw the ball without throwing it out of bounds. And once again, Mendoza does not miss. It only takes a couple of steps right here for him to put the perfect ball in there. He just does not miss. And this is a big play touchdown. You see it here from the end zone copy. You can kind of watch Mendoza's footwork. He knows where he's going right now. Back foot in the ground, ball is out on time. And look at the ball skills right there to fight through the hands. I mean, we saw him make all kinds of plays against Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl with 2 picks. I mean, he makes a heck of a play to fight through the hands of 80 right here, but it doesn't matter. He catches that thing, possesses it for the touchdown. Once again, Indiana at this point, they've just got everything working offensively, and the execution is just humming at all times right here. All right, you're going to see a little man, kind of high red zone, kind of man beater RPO right here. So they know they're going to get man again. You can see Oregon's working sort of this 3 safety deal with rotation with the motion. So they're going to motion sort of a return motion where, or you might call it kind of an orbit motion. He's going to work deep motion toward the heels of the quarterback and the running back, and then he's going to boomerang back out and bubble off of that. And you're going to get man here. So you get a push crack to the safety with the number 1 receiver there, Cooper, and then you're just man. These guys are trying to fight outside through all that trash, okay? And it's just a really good. Mendoza's got the ball out on time. He puts it in a good spot, upfield shoulder of the receiver, and then it's just once again taking advantage of that man coverage and using motion to create leverage for the receiver and try to get him out there in space. You can kind of see it here from the end zone copy as well, how Oregon's rotation's working, how the ball gets out on time, and they're just leveraging the defense when they're playing man coverage. They're trying to stretch them vertically and horizontally, and the Oregon defense is really struggling to stay on top of that at this point. All right, so still in the red zone here for Indiana. We're in a 12 personnel look. I actually got an extra offensive lineman in down here. Now, remember earlier we were talking about how the way you hit zone, A to A, okay? So you can see it here from the wide, but the end zone copy. So once again, running backs are taught to hit inside zone from front side A gap to back side A gap. You're trying to shuffle to the quarterback, make the mesh happen, and you're looking for something to open up, a crease to open up somewhere from A gap to A gap. So watch him be right here. Oregon's playing a little bit of it's not really a double eagle look or a bear look, but the nose is not covered. But they're sort of playing with like 2 shades here. This guy, I guess you could call him a 2. This guy is definitely a shade, all right, in A gap. And then you've also really got a 4-eye right here by 44. So they're sort of playing a little bit more of a tighter front here to try to control some of this inside zone stuff. But you watch him be there. Look at that track. I mean, it is so north-south, man, that it's just like, I mean, he is on a rail. That there is no wiggle to that at all. I mean, he's not looking to bounce that thing at all. And he's running with some fierce behind his pads right there. And you can see when he gets there to make contact and gets tackled, he's making them pay for that contact right there. And that just adds up over time, right? You can see how they're working up front. Oregon's trying to take away the double teams with this top front look. Indiana's just working and washing everything down. 67, the right tackle. He's climbing the linebacker perfectly like you want to on zone. You've got 37 here attaching to the backside. He's blocking the D-gap defender. And everything is just flowing right here. And Indiana's just leaning on Oregon's front, just pounding the ball and being physical, and they're executing. So we've talked about Indiana working some back shoulder stuff. Now we're just going to watch them work more of a true comeback throw to number 1 down here, the number 1 receiver. So you can see here you get a corner blitz. Oregon's going to blitz the corner from this side and really kind of play more of a, I guess it's a cover 2 or a man match sort of deal where the outside backer and the safety's going to have anything high. Outside backer's going to take anything low into the boundary to cover up for the cat blitz right there. But just watch the timing of Mendoza. He trusts what he sees. The ball is out. It hits that back foot, and he's throwing it to his spot. The ball is out right now. He just has gotten into his break on the comeback, and it's thrown. I mean, that's pretty decent coverage by the safety, but it's thrown so to a spot that he can't make a play on it. Like it's so well thrown, and you can kind of tell one of the last 2 games against Alabama and Oregon, Mendoza has 8 touchdown passes and 5 incompletions, not interceptions, incompletions, right? And Surratt is once again is Waffle House. You see why? I mean, he's getting open. They cannot cover him. They don't have an answer. Pretty good for a guy who started out his college career at St. Francis of Pennsylvania in Division II ball, and then went to JMU and now is at Indiana. I mean, he's a really, really impressive college wide receiver with a lot of skills, and his ball skills are just, through the roof. So we're still 12 personnel. Now we're going to get our zone look to this, and we're going to get this ball thrown from the left hash to the opposite sideline about 15 yards down the field, and it's just that deep sail route, that deep out, and Mendoza throws this ball. The ball's out right now. He has just got into his speed cut at the top of the route, and the ball's put right on the sideline. Once again, the corner 4, I mean, he's a really good player. We've seen him make a bunch of plays in this playoff, and he's right there. But the ball is put such a place, it's you cannot defend this, the way that they're running the route and the way Mendoza's throwing it. The receiver, 80, I think he does an awesome job of selling the go on this. He gets the corner to back out of there enough, and then his speed cut right there where he runs off the inside foot, off his left foot. He doesn't chop it, right? He keeps his momentum, and he's flat out of the break, and that is what allows him to catch the ball, because if he chops that at all, if he is slow in his break at all right there, if he doesn't speed cut it, then Ford's going to break that play up. So just a really good executed route. And then obviously the ball, this is a big-time NFL throw right here. This is the one that's going to have the scouts, going crazy in April for Mendoza. Is that right there? Not everybody can make that throw. That's just really good. All right, red zone. We're going to get an empty man beater right here. So we're getting a pressure from Oregon. They're playing sort of a man-free look. You got 7 here in the slot working on the safety, and we're going to get a double move. So we're going to get sort of an out, or it may be a little stick nod here where he's going to go out and then back to the post. He does a really good job of running the first route first. Watch his eyes and his head, and watch his hands. They completely sail the out route right there. And then, bam, he sticks his left foot in the ground right there, and he breaks that thing back inside. He gets his hands on the defender and kind of swats him by to not get collisioned. And it's a perfectly run double move route right there. Mendoza, pressure coming actually right here. One of the few times that Oregon was able to try to almost get to him. He just stands in there and makes the throw to a wide open guy. Once again, Indiana's just executing at such a high level right here. Oregon's, it's bad enough that they turn the football over as many times as they did and set Indiana up with these short fields, but it's a whole other level of this blowout and this dominance to see Indiana their offense. It didn't even matter. It didn't matter where they got the ball. It didn't matter if Oregon turned it over. They're executing at such a high level that it just doesn't matter. All right, you got your ISO run game again right here. So this is an RPO up top. You got you got an inside hitch. You got the outside receiver converting his hitch to a go because you don't want to run a hitch against press man. So Mendoza, he can either throw this hitch or he can hand this off right here. Obviously, you see why he hands it off, because he gets the look he wants. I'm going to show you this from the end zone copy again, so you can kind of see the offensive line go to work. So we're going to work that same ISO concept that we saw earlier. 37 just going to ISO and insert to the second level. So right here, you can see Oregon, we're not going to get a true double team. The center is going to push to the right and kind of get help with a 3 technique. And we're going to get the left guard taking care of the 2 there. And you're going to get, you get the climb here to the front side linebacker, and then you get your ISO, bam, right there. And once again, watch the backs. Watch his track. Once he shuffles to Mendoza, it is north-south. And there is no wiggle. There's no, like right there, I'm going to tell you, a lot of backs right now are going to try to look to bounce that thing. They're not going to trust it. These backs trust this zone running concept so well that, they are scooting to get north and south. And you see, big things happen once this starts to pile up. Once you start to run it 50, 60 times against these looks, that stuff really starts to pile up on you. So, once again, you can see there why Indiana dominated this football game with their offense. it was bad enough that Oregon turned the football over so many times and had very poor execution in this game, but it was the complete opposite for Indiana. They completely took over the game with their zone run game, inside and outside, as well as their ISO zone or game as part of the zone concept, and then their fade throwing, back shoulder stuff, Mendoza's execution of just hitting that back foot and getting the ball out, the receiver's ability to get open at the top of the route and make catches, the offensive line's ability to just sort out these different Oregon fronts and be able to open running lanes up no matter where, and those creases for those backs and the way those backs hit it downhill. This is just a team that's just executing at another level, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So, guys, thank y'all for joining us again. Hope you enjoyed this. We're going to push out some more scheme and X's and O's videos as the week goes on, kind of between the matchup of Indiana and Miami. And we'll also, put out another podcast previewing the game later on this week as well. Hope y'all enjoyed it.